Hello, and welcome to what is going to be the first of many videos to come into the channel. Now, I haven't, this is nothing new. I did one of these videos back in October of 2020, and last year I did two videos, one in July and one in December. However, this is going to be the first time I'm going to be doing this in this style, which is the channel update or the state of the channel, whatever you like to call it. And the thing I'm going to be doing is that every season, so basically every 3 months, I will be doing one of these videos basically talking about what's going on the channel, what's my thought process, IRL stuff, things to keep a note of, and just things overall in general, just to talk about things moving forward with the channel, where my thought process is going through, so you have a good idea where I'm going or what's going on here. And like I said, this one's going to be posted in March, so this is what you're watching right now. There'll be one in June for summer, one in September for the fall, and last but not least, in December will be the winter one, which will close off the year. So basically like what happened in December of last year, but I digress. So, might as well talk about some of the stuff here. This background here is just going to be something to fit, and I figured because you guys watched my channel back when I did Goosebumps, I figured this would be more than enough to kind of talk about this here. Sorry about that. Just keeping my phone activated while I do this. So, gonna keep this in the background just to kind of entertain you while I talk and have some nice background music that kind of fit the mood. But yeah, that's gonna be the update for now as far as this stuff goes. So while this I'm going to be doing this every 3 months, there's something I will be pointing out, which is the community tab. For those who don't know, I've been actively using the community tab since it's been unlocked since October, and I've been doing a set motion of three updates every week. So basically I'll be doing this, and it always seems to be a pattern. So in case you don't know, I'm going to be basically sharing this now, but most of you probably knows how this is going to go. But so every Sunday I will be posting what I have planned to do for that week. So if I have a plan to work on a video, I'll be saying, hey, I'm working on this video, or I'm taking a break, basically to let you know, hey, this is what's going on in the channel. The Wednesday is going to be the question portion. Basically, I'm going to be putting up a poll, and I'll be asking random questions, basically stuff on the channel, what I'm thinking of. Hey, what do you think of this? What do you think of that? And stuff of like, hey, here's this random question. It's basically just keep people entertained and updated, and the kind of interaction, because that what YouTube likes is that kind of interaction thing. And of course, Friday at some point, maybe late Saturday, or early Saturday, I should say, I'll be announcing whether or not the video is successful, what's going to be premiering that day. So that's when I'm going to be doing there, and just kind of keep you updated through that portion there, so you get a good idea what I have in mind for that. So let me just check my notes to make sure what's going on here. I guess let's talk about currently the games that we're kind of doing right now, and see where that goes from there. So first things first, let's talk about Addams. So the Addams have been basically the main kind of horror game on this channel that's been kind of doing updates. And yeah, it's not technically horror in the sense of like Goosebumps is, but as far as what we have right now, it's good enough. And I've been really enjoying what's been going on so far this year because of this new content creator, development of content, whatever their name is. They're doing the videos, and they've actually been watching some of the stuff, and they've been giving me interesting feedbacks and information. So as far as this is the closest thing as Goosebumps we're going to get for now, so I figured we'll kind of look into that kind of thing. One thing you've probably been noticing, oops, sorry about that, I didn't mean to summon that. Where was I? So you may have noticed that I've actually been starting to kind of talk about doing these videos and posting them live. In fact, since the beginning of this year, all the new updates I've been posting on this channel. So you're actually starting to see stuff like January's updates, February's updates, and I've been doing that kind of thing just to see what happened. I've done this since one of the videos for Snoopy, And it seems like it's working out fine. In fact, I've actually been liking doing this type of stuff because it's a lot easier for when it comes to making video content and length and all that type of stuff. Just because of how busy I'm getting right now with work. And this is a nice balance, so that way you still get some content while I also get to not have to worry so much when it comes to working and getting some relaxation, if that makes sense. So, moving forward, that's going to be what it is going to be here. My plan is to kind of do the backlog of all the Addams stuff, and my plan is to try to catch some stuff up from the 2020s and 2021. But I'm going to be mainly focusing on the Goosebumps stuff before we go into that. I might dabble in the Addams stuff in between, but the main focus is finishing off Goosebumps and then kind of continuing off from there. And that's where we're going to go. So that's where my headspace is with Addams. So yeah, looking forward to that type of stuff, and mainly I'm going to be main focus inside fun stuff like there. Now, I've mentioned Snoopy, so I might as well point this out. Now, one thing I'll throw out here, you might notice that I said something about, oh, let's do The Simpsons, and that never happened. And what happened there? Well, you probably have noticed. Turns out The Simpsons is a lot more content and a lot more effort than it should have been, so I've decided to kind of put it back on hold. And yeah, although The Simpsons would be fun and I would have enjoyed the kind of dialogue type of stuff, the problem is there's a lot more work that kind of goes into The Simpsons, so I figured, no, I can't, because of the amount of stuff I have currently going on, so I'm just going to kind of be like, nah, I'm going to leave it as such. So, sadly, unfortunately, I'm going to have to leave it like that. So, speaking of that, let's go into Snoopy. Now, I've actually uploaded 3 different videos, one in November, December, and January, but I skipped February because of a little rant that I had going on there. Now, a lot of people, here's the thing. The videos in that video content, like as far as views goes, it seems like it's being like people have been watching them. However, one thing I've noticed is that there hasn't been interactions or any kind of content as far as like premieres and stuff goes there. And I'll be honest with you, when it comes to the content of Snoopy, I'm not getting into it as much as, say, Hellgear is or other people who've covered the game does. So, for some of you, this might come as a sad shock, but I'm putting the series on hold for now. And what that means is basically, I'm not basically getting rid of the series per se, but I'm not going to be making any content as far as what's going on right now for this season. That might change depending on the situation, what's going up ahead. But as of right now, I'm not going to be focusing on that because, I just want like less stuff going on. And what I figured and what I found out is I can only focus on 2 kind of games going on right now. And honestly, I'm not getting as into as Snoopy as I did with the other games, so I'm kind of unfortunately going to leave this one off in the back burner. I know some people are like, oh, that's kind of sad, but hopefully people understand that I'm doing this because I currently, again, if I'm not getting into something, there's no point in getting into it, and it's just all that stuff and more, so you get the whole point there. So, unfortunately, but hey, it might come back, but never say never. Alright, so let's talk about the other game, Her Oasis, aka Match Island. So, Match Island is in a weird bubble. A lot of people, I'm getting a lot of interactions with it, like people commenting and kind of watching it and enjoying it, but the views numbers are a little bit down, and I can see that when it comes to numbers as far as interactivity goes, it's not the way that their other games are thriving, and I think it's because it's own IP and there's not anything there. I love the content, I thought it was funny, and there are some stuff there and makes video content great. I have no problem doing those videos and whatnot, but it's obvious to me that the game is struggling at some point, and if it doesn't continue soon, I could see the game kind of going into maintenance mode. I don't know if that's the case, though, because this is their own IP. They could still kind of hold on to it for a bit, but I guess it depends on what's going to go on and say more. So basically, as far as Match Island goes, or her Oasis, I'll be doing video content and still kind of covering that as I go. I will try to catch up with the backlogs once Addams is done and whatnot. It's not going to be main focus because a lot of people are kind of like, whatever. But I will be covering all the stuff for February's updates, so I look forward to that. Unfortunately, here's the thing I'm going to be talking about, is depending on if this new game coming out is going to be what I think it's going to be, and it's going to be popular and kind of, it's more interesting to do, I might have to put Match Island on hold, or we'll keep in track of seeing how Match Island goes, because I will not be surprised if it does go into maintenance mode at the end of the year. I'm not 100% sure. I'll monitor it as it goes and make an announcement as it comes along. But for now, there's content being updated. The game is trying to evolve and trying to fix some things. So hopefully it can get back and start to update and run. It seems like they're kind of put more effort into it. And it seems like they don't really need as much money as, say, the other properties go. But still, it's kind of something to look into, and hopefully it picks up, because I enjoy the little kooky little island type of thing there, and I think it's kind of cute. But as far as I get it, most people here don't really look at that. They look at the other stuff, the other game that I cover, which I'm going to be mentioning right now. So let's talk about that, shall we? Goosebumps, namely HorrorTown. As you know, the game is no longer kind of being updated. It's in the dreaded maintenance mode, and yeah, it seems like they're not going to do anything with updates. This is still in the Halloween decorations, so yeah. The fact that there's any content update with this, very unlikely. As of the point of this video, there are two, well, let me put it this way. There's one more special book I have to look at, and that is The Beast in the East. And that video actually is going to end up becoming a two-parter, because most of these 2020 videos are longer in length, and I'm going to have to split them up to at least kind of make it so that it's not like an hour and a half long, because I don't think you want to sit through that. An hour, less than an hour, I think it's doable. So we're going to try that and see where that goes. So that means more content, longer. That means by the end of when I get to the last video that I'm going to be doing for the HorrorTown stuff, that's going to be they're going to be the 230th episode for the video series, and which is a lot of videos for just one particular series, which I'll make a note of when we get to that video. A word of warning though, seeing how this is going to be one of the last videos I'm going to be doing is this 2021 review type thing. To make it a grand finale, I'm going to be covering all the stuff for 2020, but also doing other stuff too, by showing you certain pictures, some interesting backlog, interesting things I've discovered along the way, and just kind of a final send-off, as it were, to kind of say goodbye to HorrorTown. And I'm going to mention this one thing here. Be aware, this video is going to be at least 2 hours long, so this is going to be a big video. And it's going to be a big premiere, and it's going to be long on purpose, because I figured let's go out with a bang, with a nice video to kind of say hello, goodbye type of thing like that. So that's my overall plan. I might have to figure out what it's going to be, most likely in the summer update. I'll be more in depth with what's going on there, because I doubt I'm going to get to that video this season. So I'll probably go on to more details about what's going on there once we get to that stuff in particular. So that will be interesting when we get there. So I think as far as the main videos go is pretty much done. So let me just check my notes here, and let's figure out what else is I'm going to be announcing here. One thing I'll make a note of, though, before we move on, is that these videos of Goosebumps HorrorTown is taking a while to do, because I've been getting used to this new layout of making videos quick. So now going back to doing these video edits, it's like taking a long time. And I'm going to be a little bit relieved once Goosebumps is done, because it's like, ooh, no more lot of work, because, you know, these do take a lot of work because there's a lot of dialogue exchange, memes, and all that type of stuff and more. So that's just that up there and more. So, before we take to the main topic, I want to make an announcement of something I want to be planning. As you know, before I became a Goosebumps HorrorTown YouTuber and making videos on these mobile games of town builders, I actually used to be a streamer. And I used to stream on Twitch and make videos, basically kind of playing different random games I like, platformers, sometimes random games, old games I used to play, new games, that kind of thing. And I've kind of enjoyed it in the sense of kind of like my overall feel. If you wanted to get a taste of how that used to be, I made a top 2018 moments in this video playlist. You could probably see it in sometime down way down below. But at some point I did make a video like that, so you can take a look into that. It's like an hour long, and you get a good idea of how my humor used to be. It's a little bit more not really kid friendly, let's put it that way. It's more kind of like loose on the language, so be aware of that. But yeah, I probably evolved since then. And my plan is at some point this year, I'm hoping, I want to start streaming again. And there are some games that I actually want to play that I've actually enjoy, and it's going to be more or less trying to get myself back into doing some streams. It's not going to be an every day I'm going to be streaming kind of deal. It's going to be every so often I might stream something. I want to play a game, and I might put up a live stream and kind of play through there. It might have to be on Twitch though, so that's going to be a thing. Now the thing is, this has been like probably a few years since I've actually streamed last. It was back in 2019, so that's been a long time. It's like looking at almost 2-3 years since I've streamed last. So it's going to be a while for me to kind of get everything back up to date and kind of get stuff back and going, especially since things have changed in Twitch and whatnot. But the idea is at some point I want to try streaming again. And with this, I have a new PC, which I'm going to have that up and running. So that's going to be more of the streaming rig that I'm going to be doing. And hopefully there, you guys can come and enjoy. And the plan is for one of the Goosebumps, re-looking at some of the old games, especially replaying the Goosebumps, the game. Much better dialogue and exchange, since, you know, now I'm kind of focused on the Goosebumps stuff. I will most likely be streaming those type of games, making it easier rather than making content and kind of doing here, because it takes a lot more time, and doing streams a lot more easier and a lot more length and depth. So yeah, I've always been kind of linking my old archive channel, which is Goose, not Goosebumps, a Grimokan of Shadows Past. And the naming of that, if you're curious why I named it that, is because I used to kind of embodied my channel based off Vinesauce. I might have mentioned this many times before, but when you look at Vinesauce, they had like full streams and kind of have wacky names. So for me, I thought, okay, of Shadows Past sounds like something that would fit with my channel, so that's what I did there. So that's the gimmick. And the gimmick is that there's always different things. There's modern, weird, awful, you know, this weird different categories that would represent of what I actually am going to be doing. And there are some games that has been released and is going to come out that I want to play and actually stream. And I figured it would be fun to kind of have a kind of casual stream with you guys, to kind of like come in, talk live while I kind of commentate over videos like I've done before. And it should be fun and nice. So that's my plan. So that's the idea. I'm hopefully going to get that at some point soon, but we'll have to wait and see. Now then, let's talk about one of the main topics of this video. The new game. What I can tell you is that I am aware that Pixel is making a new game as far as the mobile game stuff goes. I'm not 100% sure what it is. It seems to be very tight-lipped and kind of secretive of what's going on. And I'm not 100% sure if there's more than one game being worked on. It sounds like there might be, but it might just be the one. Now, there are some people like myself, I'm hoping that this is like the new HorrorTown replacement, which would be nice. But I don't know 100% sure what it is. I have come across something, but it might be nothing. So I'm not going to go too much in depth with it and kind of go in depth and saying like, oh, this is going to happen, guys, and go crazy conspiracy theory here. But just note that there are some things here. Now, as far as what I think it could be, I have 3 different ideas of what this game could be. Now, here's the thing. I know there are some people on Pixel who's actually watching this channel who's been watching me. They have not said anything. Apparently, some of them are in NDAs, I think. But yeah, they haven't said anything to me. So this is all conspiracy theory, all me thinking what it might be. So basically, if this turns out to be true, then my conspiracy hat goes on and be like, hey, I guessed it correctly. But yeah, no, this isn't anything. Don't take this all with, just take this with a grain of salt. This is not to be taken seriously. This is just hypothetical stuff. So honestly, there are 3 different options that this could be. The first of which is this HorrorTown replacement, basically a spiritual successor, as it were. The reasoning behind this is because, as you know, this game kind of died, not because of financial stuff, but it actually died because the contract licensing agreement ended. So technically, it didn't die because it failed. It died because it ended its course. You know, the series has ended. So it wouldn't benefit me. It would not benefit them to use some of the old assets of some of the spooky stuff and kind of repurpose it into something of a horror game that might be based on their own stuff. Now, there are some ideas that you could go about this. You can just make your own generic horror stuff, which they've done before. Ellie is a great example of this. So something like this is not out of the ordinary. But at the same time, we don't know for sure exactly what's the plan. So, as far as we know, the purpose of this is going to be just to see where that goes. So it could be that they make their own kind of horror stuff, like based on monsters and whatnot, and this kind of opens up the door of many different possibilities and type of stuff there. Or if they want to go with the horror book kind of angle, they could base it off of Grim Fairy Tales. That's a possibility. I've seen games kind of doing that type of stuff before, and it's very public base or open. You know what I mean? Like it's basically public domain, which means that anybody can use them. So they can make their own version of, say, like Pinocchio is the new Slappy. Just random stuff like that. Not to say that that's going to be happening, but hey, if they want to make a knockoff HorrorTown, that's probably the best way to do it. You know, without getting in trouble. But I digress. But that's one idea. The other idea is a very far stretch. But this is 2 of these ideas are IP based. Now, the fact that they're keeping it very tight-lipped means that it might be something for an IP base, which means that if this turns out to be true, we'll most likely get an announcement through the Amico brand's website, because whenever something like that happens, they'll make a big announcement about it. So we'll have to wait and see what ends up becoming the case. Now, I'll talk about something that relates to this channel and something that's completely out of the ordinary, but hear me out on the theory. So, the first one is that instead of a Goosebumps HorrorTown replacement, this could be a Goosebumps sequel. Now, that's not out of the ordinary. There has been games in mobile that actually make sequels to games of previous old. And you might be thinking that, well, how come what's the purpose of that? Maybe that's not the case. But I'm just like, well, yeah, maybe. But I don't think they've ended on bad terms with Scholastics. I think it's more or less anything. Maybe what they wanted to do was say, okay, well, if this doesn't work, then maybe we can make a new contract with something else. As we know, they recently made the announcement of the new horror Goosebumps TV special is supposed to be streaming on Disney Plus of all things, and they've made the announcement of what the plot is going to be, and it's not the anthology horror that a lot of people were hoping for, but it sounds more like akin to Riverdale / kind of the whole spooky like what you've expected from the movies. It's like, oh great, here we go again. But it kind of, like, I don't know why, but reading the plot synopsis, if this is going the way I think it's going, it kind of sounds like HorrorTown to me. Just the kind of the idea of like different of the Goosebump stuff kind of interacting with one another. I mean, if they actually have it so that, say, yeah, Professor Shock in the show, but basically he's like a normal teacher and whatnot. That would be kind of cool if that ends up becoming the case, kind of like what's going on with HorrorTown. And the gimmick of that would be that the fact is that they could do so much more with it, and they could base it around that, and basically improve with the new dialogue, new game stuff like that, and it could work out well. Again, this is a very long stretch, and I don't know if this is the case. Now, last time this game got announced back in 2017. It was announced during in May at some point during, I think they had some sort of convention at that time. So it's possible that it could be announced in May, if anything, because give or take, most likely this new Goosebumps series is going to be premiering sometime in October, 100%. The fact that they're basically confirming that there's like 10 episodes and it's going to be something like that. So that means that at some point they probably know what's going on and the characters, what they look like and all that stuff and more. And we've seen them kind of play around with, like, say, bring Goosebumps to Haunted Halloween into the game. So it's possible that they could do the same thing with the show. Again, we don't know. If they are making a sequel-based game, it could be somewhat of a sequel slash reboot, in the sense that maybe they can have, Lucy and Dustin come back, but they're a lot older, or, it could be based with these new kids, characters, or, we don't know for sure. But that's a theory I kind of threw out there. I kind of made a video back in February when the announcement came up and being like, oh, this could be what's going on, guys. But, yeah, I kind of scrapped that because I didn't know for sure if that was going to be the case, and I figured I might as well throw it out here. And it would be cool that ends up becoming the case, but I doubt that's ever going to happen. It'll be funny if that actually turns out to be the case, and that's what the game they're working on. But yeah, that would be the dream come true for a channel like mine, especially for you guys. It'd be like, oh yay, more content from me. But I digress. Now then. What's his other game that I think it might be? Now, this is the throwing out the ball here. But long time ago, they used to work on Garfield. And this could be the new Garfield 2 game that they've been kind of doing for a long time. Now, hear me out. Here's why I think this might be the case. They've recently announced Chris Pratt to be playing as Garfield in this new movie made by Nickelodeon, because Nickelodeon now owns the right to Garfield. And they've seemed to be doing well when it comes to taking comic book kind of characters or things from old media, and they're redoing a new like movies and whatnot. And it sounds like, if anything, this Garfield movie will probably make a sequel. So it seems like a good given that they're going to be probably doing this. It might be a Garfield game. I could totally see the Garfield game being in the Match Island kind of setting, in the sense of Match 3 mechanics and all that type of stuff. So it's very possible that that might also be the case going on here. But again, I don't know for sure if that's the case. Again, they've had a rocky past when it came to Nickelodeon and how they do their business, especially when they did the Loud House game. That didn't turn out well because of how that turned, like how they decided to do their system there. I bet a lot of you didn't know that they made a Loud House game, but yeah, that's how Nickelodeon operates. They don't really announce who develops it, which is unfortunate. So having Garfield be made into a video game, maybe not possible, but we'll have to wait and see, because I know they've made this contract agreement way back in 2018 with Jim Davis, when he had the ownership of Paws Incorporated. But now it's owned by Nickelodeon, so Nickelodeon's in charge of everything Garfield. So if you're curious why Garfield's appearing in Nickelodeon video games, that's why. Because they own the character, so why not? But again, they've had past with Garfield, and they've done successfully with Snoopy and stuff in Addams, so why not Garfield? Most likely Garfield might be in the same boat. I mean, Garfield has been memed on for much, and we've gotten Cthulhu or Gorfield be a meme type thing, so obviously they could work around that. But then again, I don't know. But It is a very possibility that it could be Garfield, but yeah, we'll have to wait and see about that. But yeah, I digress. So that's my theories. It either could be a Goosebumps replacement, basically its own IP. It could be Goosebumps sequel / reboot itself, or it could be a Garfield IP game based off a movie that's coming out, maybe. Those are my three options of what I think this new game's going to be. Anything else can be out of the ordinary. It could be thrown out the window, because all I know, it could be anything for all I know, right? So all I'm hoping for is that in the summer, I'll be able to say, okay, guys, here's the new video. I'm going to be making the series, this is what it's going to be, all that stuff and more. But what I can tell you is that whenever we finally get announcement and confirmation of what this game is, I will be making a video like I did with Addams and Match Island, with the introduction to the game and basically an overall view of what it is with the website and everything like that, what the game could be, my overall thoughts on it, and to see if you guys are interested in me playing through the game. Now that depends on what this game is. Hopefully it's something good that might actually be, might take HorrorTown's replacement, but we won't know for sure. My hope is that we get the announcement at some point this season, but it might be until summer at least till we get to know. What I will tell you is that they've been kind of keeping secret to me, that they won't tell me exactly what's going on. All I know is the person who used to work at Addams is now working on this new project. And once they can finally tell me what it is, I'll be the first to know. So most likely I'll be showing the beta off once that's kind of up and running, and more or less and more. So let's hope and see. I'll keep an eye out of what's going on, and we'll leave it off from there. So yeah, that is the end of this video update content. Let me know what you think down below, if you thought this was a good process, if there's anything I should change or whatnot. But hopefully I'll be doing this next time for more or less so you get the idea. But anyways, that will be it for me. I will be continuing off from with all the videos. I have content coming up for March, April, and May, so keep a lookout for that. I'm looking forward to what might be coming up for this year, especially since spring is not the best time for the year for me. I'm not a fan of spring. It's probably the worst one, but hopefully all the new content comes up that makes me happy, that I don't have to worry about the bad season that comes up and the allergies and all that good stuff. But I digress. So I'll be seeing you next time with in June of what happens. So let's see if my theory comes correct. Until then, bye-bye.